Triangle, square, circle, circle, triangle, square, circle. Did you hear that?
What? That crazy xylophone?
No, listen.
11,735. Circles. 1, 7, 3, 5, 9, 11.
Ew. Math. In high school, math was always my worst subject, but that wasn't always the case. As a boy, I could do times tables like no other, and I owe this grade school genius to a little cartoon called Cyberchase. In terms of cartoons I remember watching as a child, there were few as nostalgic as Cyberchase, a PBS classic that I'm sure many a millennial out there simply refers to as that math show. Personally, I find it hard to believe that anyone could forget the name of this show. They literally spell it out at the end of the intro. And honestly, I can't even hear the word Cyberchase without automatically thinking, we're moving.
Cyberchase, we're moving.
And for those people out there who do remember this show, they probably grew up without cable like I did, or therefore limited in their television viewing options. On weekdays, I had WB Kids, 4Kids TV, Discovery Kids, but on weekdays after school, it was always PBS, usually with Cyberchase coming on right before dinner time. Every time an episode of this show came on, I remember stopping whatever it was I was doing to watch it, even if it was a rerun. It was that big of a deal to me back then. While researching for this episode, I was honestly surprised to see how many of these episodes I actually remembered watching at one time or another during my childhood. And as I perused YouTube playlists and Wikipedia's episode guide for the first 3 seasons, the seasons I grew up with, memories of this show's unique digital setting and its numerous weird inhabitants all started flooding back to me. So let's not waste any more time and travel to the world of Cyberchase.
Adventures in cyberspace. The chase is on. Just wait and see why
Cyberchase opens with the most iconic trio of the modern era, Jackie, Matt, and Inez, interacting with a digital map at their local library. Suddenly, Robo-Madonna from the year 2341 reaches out to them from across the void, desperately trying to stay relevant by promoting her latest album to a bunch of preteens in a time when people might have actually still cared about her music. Actually, this is Motherboard, the ruler of cyberspace, though I'd argue she's basically a god since she has the power to transport the trio of strangers into her realm like it's as easy as pie. Anyways, once the gang lands in Cyberchase, they quickly meet Digit, a cybird voiced by none other than Gilbert Gottfried.
She the boy! She the boy drink!
Who protects Motherboard and serves as the trio's animal companion for the series.
Sorry I'm late. Took a wrong turn at Mobius.
The Cyber Squad is quickly put to work by Motherboard and Digit, since Motherboard has been infected by a virus, and only one man can save her. Dr. Marbles, Motherboard's chief scientist slash mechanic slash the third Mario bro who decided, you know what, I don't want to unclog toilets for a living like my brothers, and therefore worked his ass off to get his doctorate and a brain enhancement as well. And before you say it, Dr. Mario is not a licensed medical practitioner. Once Jackie, Matt, and Inez are outfitted with these cool devices called squawk pads, which are basically just advanced graphing calculators that help them solve problems and communicate with each other, they set off on their first mission to a remote island in search of the missing doctor. On this maiden adventure, the 3 kids must learn to work as a team, master the art of locating landmarks, all the while working against the clock before the island resets itself at sundown. They also have their first run-in with the show's main villain, the Hacker.
You mean that pompous piece of that green face?
The green goon with the largest butt chin known to man is voiced by legendary actor Christopher Lloyd, who most people will remember as Mayor Ackerman from Blood Lake: Attack of the Killer Lampreys. The Hacker is almost always accompanied by his 2 tin-headed cronies, Buzz and Delete, robotic servants who perform most of the heavy lifting for their boss. You may think this is unfair, but to me it makes total sense. I mean, how can Hacker do anything with these little old legs of his? These 2 also have a love of donuts, as well as an unconventional hobby of dressing up in women's clothes. After using their grade school smarts to thwart hackers' plan and save Motherboard, Jackie, Matt, and Inez are forced into slavery to this digital deity. I guess being a giant floating head does have its limitations, though where's Neo when you need him? So there's no way I'm going to be able to talk about all 11 seasons of this show because I've got way better things to do than watch years worth of children's programming. So I decided I'd just pick a couple episodes that I distinctly remember watching as a child, or at least the ones that, aren't blocked in the US for some reason. No, it's fine, YouTube. I totally didn't want to watch that awesome skateboarding episode with King Dudicus that taught you about area and perimeter. I'm not mad, I'm just really disappointed. So with the gang now under Motherboard's metaphorical thumb, episodes usually follow a similar format to the pilot episode. Our heroes embark on a seemingly infinite quest as they travel to various cyber sites, thwarting evil and helping the citizens of cyberspace with their various problems. Since there's always trouble lurking somewhere in the net. One of my favorite episodes is the one where they stop a Reddit flame war from going nuclear, and the episode where they uncover Pro Jared's dark past is definitely in my top 5 as well, probably right under the one about Hillary's email. Yeah, this review is probably not going to age well, but hey, I'm fine with that. And now for the official Saturdazed top 5 Cyberchase episodes in terms of nostalgia, and also not counting the episodes blocked in the US. Number 1. Our Fair City. In this episode, the trio ventures to a cyber site devoted to carnival games. Here they learn about probability and must use their knowledge of chance to find an unfair game at the amusement park, because doing so will lead them to Hacker and a captured digit. This episode also teaches them that gambling is totally not addicting in the slightest, and that if you just keep playing, you're bound to win something eventually, right? Number 2. Clock Like an Egyptian. Anyone who watched my recent episode on Tuttenstein will know exactly why I like this one so much. In this Egyptian-themed episode, Motherboard transports Jackie, Matt, and Inez to search for a missing Dr. Marbles in the tomb of Ram. But there's a bit of a catch. They must keep track of time while exploring this pyramid, because if they take too long, the entrance will seal them inside forever. In order to escape from the mummy and his cat's beetle and feline phantom-infested home, the trio jerry-rig a couple of makeshift timekeeping devices to ensure that they don't clock out for good. Not gonna lie, this episode kinda stressed me out as a kid with the whole time limit thing. It's pretty heavy.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Number 3. The Eye of Ram. Another great Egyptian-themed episode in which the gang learns about inverse operations. After Hacker steals the Eye of Ram from the tomb of Ram, it's up to the gang to retrieve the eye by trading him a new encryptor chip. Only in order to get the chip, they must travel across the deserts of Perimeter, which proves to be pretty straightforward until Buzz and Delete break the gang's GPS, meaning that they must now solve a series of puzzles in reverse to retrace their steps. Oh yeah, this episode also had a whole time limit thing going on, since if the trio doesn't return this Simon Says looking tablet back to the pyramid before sundown, the whole cyber site will be destroyed. I don't know about anyone else, but as a kid, I dreamed of going through this gauntlet myself, especially this maze. It always looked fun to me for some reason. I don't know. Being a kid is weird. Number 4. Problem solving in Shangri-La. After the Cyber Squad and Team Hacker crash land on an Asian-themed cyber site, the two teams must compete in this unique game devised by a floating Jedi monk named Master Pi that involves strategically picking several green dragons at a time so you don't end up being the team left with the red dragon. Together, Jackie, Matt, and Inez must work out the best game plan to win, because if they don't, they'll be stuck in Asia forever. Oh no! Basically, the concept of this episode boils down to the idea that sometimes solving complex math problems requires practice. It also teaches that sometimes knowing your endgame and working backwards is the best way to go. Number 5. Snow Day to be exact. So in this one, Hacker steals this thing called the Sunisphere from a tropical vacation cyber site called Solaria. With this glowing beach ball thing missing, the whole planet is transformed into a frozen wasteland, and it's up to the gang to retrieve the Sunisphere and place it back onto the pedestal, or else, you guessed it,
We know. Bye-bye, Solaria.
On this icy adventure, the trio learn about estimation, and that sometimes being close enough is good enough. A valuable lesson, I'd say. Some people could really benefit from advice like this. I'll never be good enough.
Stay right where you are. It's Cyberchase for real.
So if that's not enough math and problem solving for you, each episode also has one of these live action scenes tacked on at the very end. They're pretty,
Sure, you go down this road, take a right at the bears, a left at the baboons, walk all the way past the giraffes, take a left at the ostrich.
Each of these Cyberchase for real segments follows either Harry or Bianca, as they take the concepts from the episodes and apply them to a real-world scenario. Considering most people probably won't be using math while running through pyramids or while trying to save an entire island from exploding, these clips are actually a nice, grounded addition, and are way more beneficial in teaching the concepts to kids. Honestly, I think I learned way more with Harry and Bianca than with the main show. Like, I distinctly remember learning about volume and perimeter. I really appreciate that every episode had one of these, but they do feel like someone at PBS just picked up a camcorder and was like, let's go film some stuff without a permit and hope we don't get in trouble. But in all seriousness, the variety and locales this show has to offer is actually quite impressive. There are cyber sites devoted to ancient Greece, the Wild West, Halloween, and the gang is often seen returning to these locations in later episodes throughout the series. In a way, it makes the show's universe feel more connected and fleshed out, like one could easily travel from site to site if they really wanted to. Character design, on the other hand, ranges from pretty okay to literal trash. The more humanoid characters are fine, especially the trio. Like, seriously, name a more iconic trio. I'll wait. But some of the denizens of this digital world are downright disgusting. Like, I don't even know what these sentient boogers are supposed to be, but they seriously look like they just crawled right out of Hacker's nose. And I don't know about anyone else, but I always thought Motherboard was kinda creepy. Maybe it's because of the fact that she's animated in 3D for some reason, or because of her two different eyes, but I just have this sinking feeling that since she's always being infected with viruses and stuff, that one day she's just gonna go all Skynet and become this almighty rogue AI or something. I wouldn't trust her if I were these kids. The voice acting is a bit hit or miss too. Christopher Lloyd and Gilbert Gottfried pretty much carry this show with their memorable performances. Like, I can't picture Hacker or Digit without hearing their voices. Though it makes me wonder why sometimes lines from other characters are delivered worse than your package from Amazon.
This sounds totally terrible!
Even though rewatching some episodes of this show took me back to the more innocent times of yesteryear when math was still cool and summers were jobless and full of freedom, I feel kinda bad saying this show is not as captivating as it was when I was younger.
Oh man, this is worse than I imagined.
I mean, it certainly feels like it was made with a specific age group in mind, so I shouldn't be too surprised. Can't really recommend watching it in its entirety, but if you're in the market for a small dose of nostalgia, maybe just do what I did and scour the episode lists and find the episodes you remember and give them a watch. Cyberchase was a key part of my childhood, and I feel like it's partly responsible for my determination when it came to schoolwork back in the day. So in a way, I'm sad that most kids nowadays are growing up watching Baby Shark videos and other weird crap on YouTube instead of this. I'm sure there are actually a lot of people out there like me that do remember this show fondly, so with this video, I guess I'm hoping to get more people to think back on Cyberchase and reflect on what it meant to them growing up. So if you have any funny memories of this show or have an episode that stuck with you after all these years, maybe share it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. Oh no! I think Hacker's stolen some thingy. If I don't hurry up and finish this video, all of YouTube could be erased forever. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And as always, thanks for letting me be a part of your weekend. See you guys next time.
Cyberchase, we're moving, we're beating Hacker at his game. Don't tell me that he's trying to hack the motherboard, we'll get him every time.